Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps and I have a card to share with you. We are going to do this fun Reason for the Season card. Here you go, the close-up. This one uses the Holiday Fancy Foil Vellum, which is wonderful, and I'm going to give you some tips for how to use it efficiently so you get the most out of your package when you're making multiple cards. And the other thing I'm going to show you is a Reason for the Season tutorial that shows how to use this 3-step poinsettia image, which is gorgeous, to make your cards here. And I've heard stampers say that they love this one because you don't have to color the poinsettia in. The coloring's done for you with the stamps. So there are some helpful tips to know on how to align the images, and I'm going to share them with you. So let's get stamping.
So we'll pull out the pieces from our Stamps the Mail Club kit, and I'm going to start by just folding the Old Olive cardstock in half. And then I'm going to layer one of these two Whisper White pieces right here on the center. You could use Stampin' Dimensionals for this, or you could just go ahead and stick it right down. Usually I'm a dimensional girl. You guys probably know that by now. And then I'm going to take my vellum. This is the Fancy Foil Holiday Vellum from the Holiday Catalog. And if your snail sticks to the back of it, great. If it doesn't, you can also put your snail on your cardstock and then stick it down. But you'll notice that I just put my adhesive here where it is going to be hidden by our ribbon strip, because you can can you see that there? It shows through just a little bit. Alright, I like to put my snail just right on my ribbon, and then I'm gonna go ahead and set it up just right tight against one side here, and then I'm gonna trim the other to match. And there we go. Oh, it's a little short. Okay, so if you mess up like I did there, don't worry. We can add our gold circle here to cover it, and then, hey look, you don't even have to work so hard to line it up. In fact, since I already messed that up, well, you know, it's not really a mess up. I think I'm going to go ahead and save half of my glimmer ribbon. So I've included a good length of glimmer ribbon in here, but I'm going to trim this off, set that aside for another project, and then layer our piece right here. So this gold is punched with a 2-inch circle punch, which I love. I think the 2-inch and the 2.5-inch circle punches are probably the Stampin' Up! Punches that I use the most. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. And then we have our card pretty well started here. There's another piece of cardstock here, and this is you're going to use with your Reason for the Season stamps to make your flower. You want to grab a fabulous black ink pad. The Memento black is great. You can also use the archival black, which I love, from the Holiday Catalog. And because we're using photopolymer, you want to remember to put your paper piercing mat under your stamping. So we will add that here to our equation. It can work just fine without. It kind of depends on your table surface type and how well your ink pad is inked. And if you're getting great images, don't worry about it. If you're finding your images aren't turning out super sharp, then go ahead and try add a soft layer in between. Okay, so there's a trick about the Reason for the Season stamps. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this here, and you're going to notice that on the side of the stamp, see this extra piece of photopolymer here that's like random? I mean, why would that be there? That's the key to lining up your images, because you'll notice here on my red the flower stamp that we're going to insert, there's also a little tab. So when I stamped my black image, I had my tab to the left. I just like to keep in mind which way they are and just line them up the same way each time. So, inking my flower image, photopolymer tab to the left, that helps you get a good start on lining up your image. Now, let me go real close here. When you line up your image, my favorite strategy is to kind of pick a point. So see this flower tip right here? I'm going to go ahead and line up there so that it matches, and then I just swing the stamp sort of around in a circle around this point until it looks like it lines up all the way around. And that would be there. The closer you get to your image or your paper, the easier it is to see whether you've gotten it lined up or not. So there is our flower. And then I have my leaf stamp. See, it's got another little photopolymer tab. So remember, when we stamp, we're going to keep that on the left, and that's going to help us get that lined up. You can use your Stampin' Write marker that's included with your kit, or you can use your ink pad. The marker is actually almost a better bet with this image because see all this real estate here in the center? You want to be really careful not to ink that accidentally, because if you do, you'll give it a big green smudge in the middle of your flower. So again, kind of line that baby up and go ahead and stamp it. And if it's not exactly perfect, don't kick yourself, you're fine. You're going to cut out this image so you have lots of chance to sort of recover your image if it's a little bit off center. Grab your Stampin' Up paper snips, the fabulous cutters of small images, and go ahead and trim around your flower. We've got that set, and we're going to layer it here on our card. I'm just going to put a Stampin' Dimensional on the back and go ahead and layer. Now I kind of like this card with a greeting, so we're going to add a greeting. There's a slip included with your Stamps the Mail Club kit, and there's a stamp here that says Peace Be With You. When you use your Old Olive Stampin' Write marker, you have the privilege of picking just the part of the stamp that you'd like inked. So I'm going to ink just the word peace and go ahead and stamp it here on my paper. And then, now the other nice thing about Stampin' Write marker is, like, I kind of missed the top of the C a little bit, so I'm just going to go back with my marker and color that in, and the top of the E. And there you would never know that I missed those because, woohoo, for coordinating markers, right? Okay, I'm going to trim this pretty close to make a banner shape. And banner shape tip for you, if you aren't good at making those little triangles, start in the middle, cut to where you want your point to end, and then just clip to the corner like that. It's an awesome trick so that your paper doesn't keep getting smaller and smaller. And then you can just grab your card and another Stampin' Dimensional, of course, and pop that baby under there. And I'm going to tuck it under our flower. And maybe I'll stick it down here just a little so it doesn't cover up our whole cute ribbon. Okay, and then they're also included in your Stamps the Mail Club kit are the embellishments, because it's a cute card as it is, but you know, with an extra little embellishment it's even more fun. So you can use your paper snips or your fingernails, of which I just got back from a rock climbing weekend, so I have no fingernails. And, oops, there goes my pearl. Go ahead and stick 3 of those down on your flower center. So there is one of our Reason for the Season Poinsettia Stamps the Mail Club cards for this month. If you're looking for other ways to use sort of the same design, here is another card, not for Stamps the Mail, but that I used for my Christmas card class, where I layered the same size, see, look familiar, and just turned the card a different direction to use that 3 by 4 inch piece of the vellum, because the vellum comes as a 12 by 12 sheet. So if you cut 3 by 4 inch pieces, then you can get 12 out of a single page of vellum, which is a great way to make the most of your cardstock. So, or just order your Stamps the Mail Club kit and it all comes pre-cut. You don't have to worry about it. Thanks so much for watching. Happy stamping!